The U.S. Air Force is testing its newest supersonic jet. It's expected to set a new speed record and raise the U.S. air power to a new level. The best engineers from companies such as Boeing, Lockheed Martin, SpaceX, and others worked on its development. Be sure that what they managed to create will impress you. Even China and Russia are shocked because the United States was the first in the world to create a 7th-generation fighter that breaks all the paradigms of air warfare. This is thanks to hypersonic speed, artificial intelligence technology with unmanned control, laser weapons, and stealth capabilities.
The Joint Strike Fighter is going to be the backbone airplane for hauling freight. It is going to be the muscle part of sustained forces.
Someone might object. How is it possible to create a 7th-generation fighter jet when only the 5th generation exists? This is a really interesting question. In fact, the division into generations is a very subjective concept. The experts still don't have a consensus on what exactly makes them different. Technologies have already reached the point where they show such high results that it's very difficult to come up with something new. And even though experts have managed to come to the conclusion that the new generation should have a speed at least twice that of sound, have an advanced stealth system, and of course be armed with very powerful weapons, it still sounds vague. Actually, no one knows what these aircraft are like in reality, what they look like, and when they'll be released. We're only giving lip service to technology, but with this information, we can understand what the 6th and 7th generation fighters will look like. To get an even better idea of what the new fighter will look like, you should take a look at this development. On April 28, 2022, Boeing unveiled the first production T-7A Red Hawk, a new jet aircraft designed to train pilots of 5th and 6th generation fighters.
There's a lot of power on the airplane, and it really wants to go flying.
The joint development of the American Boeing and Swedish Saab AB was created to replace the T-38 Talon training aircraft, which have been faithfully serving the U.S. Air Force and NASA for over 60 years. This replacement was necessary because the Talon is a 3rd-generation aircraft, and the 7th generation will appear in the near future. Despite the fact that the T-7A Red Hawk is a training aircraft, it turned out to be an incredibly modern fighter that can be sent into combat right away. Moreover, the developers accidentally managed to do something that influenced the future of all unmanned aviation. The T-7A is designed in such a way that the nose of the aircraft spontaneously drops down if the aircraft reaches critical flight angles. The automatic flight control system helps with this. This minor detail, on which no bets were even placed, made it possible to improve the artificial intelligence of fighter jets and make them as safe as possible.
This is where we go demonstrate high angle of attack maneuverability as well as departure resistance.
For example, if the pilot of a brand new Dark Star loses consciousness, the aircraft will start to go to critical angles, after which artificial intelligence will work and level the flight. It'll then head for the nearest base, the location of which is stored in the onboard computer, and upon arrival at the base, the AI will be able to land on its own, saving the pilot's life. It's surprising that a supersonic training aircraft has led to the creation of such incredible technologies, and experts are confident that a similar system will be on the latest 7th generation fighter.
Digital engineering has really been a game changer to this program.
By the way, while we're talking about the Dark Star, it's time to say that the 6th generation fighter has finally begun active service on the USS Gerald R. Ford aircraft carrier. Why is this such a significant event? The reason's clear. Traditionally, deck-based aircraft have been weaker than ground-based aircraft. For example, representatives of the 5th generation F-35 and F-22, both aircraft were created at the same time. Both have the latest technologies, but the F-22 is far ahead of its counterpart due to its speed of 1,860 miles per hour compared to 1,180 miles per hour of the F-35. The first one's also more maneuverable, and its survivability is not far behind. The reason for this difference is in the design features of decked fighters. They have to be lighter to be able to take off from an aircraft carrier.
They had to do something to get the cost of these airplanes back down to a reasonable level.
But the situation has changed. The new 6th generation fighter jet is so powerful and has such capabilities that it qualifies as a science fiction development from the future. But the most amazing thing is that we can already see it today. This is the most dangerous weapon of the United States because the new aircraft cannot be detected by the eye or radar. It's capable of hovering over the enemy and unleashing the full force of its deadly arsenal of bombs and missiles in just a few seconds, wiping out the city.
The primary armament is in weapons bays underneath the airplane, where we carry 6 medium-range radar-guided missiles.
In addition, the new fighter can control an entire army of ships and aircraft, becoming an invisible air command center. The Dark Star development program started in 2012. Its main goal was to develop a manned, stealthy 6th-generation fighter jet. The aircraft was supposed to be just good, a little better than all the existing ones, but every year the technology became more powerful and the requirements for a new fighter increased even more. That's how the invisible Dark Star with the most powerful weapon on board appeared. It's capable of carrying out the most complex air missions at a speed of 1,930 miles per hour.
In the past, you may have needed, a whole strike from a carrier to be able to do that. Now you just do it with one airplane.
The second feature of Dark Star is complete invisibility. With the current development of technology and experience in this area, engineers only had to create a material capable of reflecting radar waves in the opposite direction or changing the direction of waves hitting the fighter. With this method, the radar just can't detect the aircraft because the waves don't return to the grating. But why was it necessary to create such complex technologies? Of course, for the most powerful and devastating attacks, because Dark Star carries more than a dozen supersonic maneuvering projectiles with a total weight of 6,600 pounds. They reach speeds 3 times faster than the speed of sound and can destroy an enemy even without using a warhead, just by using kinetic energy. The bombs were not forgotten either. The fighter carries 6 cluster munitions or 1 nuclear bomb. The kamikaze drones are also on board and are used to storm enemy positions. The reconnaissance drones collect all the data about the area and send it directly to the pilot's helmet.
The future of weapons could look very different to what they look like today. So we're looking at options to have flexible payload bays, have different missiles all contained within it.
Another idea based on Dark Star is to build a fighter jet with systems that can be improved as easily as downloading an app to a smartphone. In the long run, this will give Dark Star the opportunity to stay relevant and quickly adapt to specific needs. The pilot can just download the necessary settings and fly into battle on autopilot, knowing that the aircraft is fully prepared for even the most difficult conditions.
This is just one potential concept, what it might look like. It's to describe a vision more than anything else. It's to put something tangible in people's minds.
As we've already said, Dark Star is supposed to become an invisible flying command center, a real stronghold of the U.S. Army in case of nuclear war. And this is a fact. The data transmission technology was borrowed from doomsday aircraft and improved several dozen times. The 6th-generation fighter will be able to command the entire U.S. Army from anywhere in the world. Whether it's directing artillery at the enemy, commanding submarines to launch nuclear missiles, or just coordinating other aircraft, Dark Star is capable of it all. This is the end of the video. Thank you for watching this far. We'd be extremely grateful if you'd subscribe to our channel and give us a like for our efforts. Have a great day, and see you soon.